Welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that touches everyone at some point in their lives: anger. Whether it's a sudden outburst when things go wrong or simmering frustration over daily annoyances, anger can be a powerful and disruptive force. But what if I told you that ancient Stoic philosophy offers timeless strategies to help you manage and even eliminate this destructive emotion? In this video, we'll explore 10 Stoic strategies for removing anger from your life, each one grounded in the wisdom of philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca. These strategies aren't just theoretical concepts. They're practical tools you can apply to everyday situations to cultivate calm and emotional resilience. Imagine transforming your daily frustrations into opportunities for growth and self-control. Picture yourself navigating conflicts with a sense of inner peace and understanding. Whether you're dealing with a challenging coworker, a frustrating delay, or personal setbacks, these Stoic practices will help you approach these moments with clarity and composure. So, if you're ready to take control of your emotions and learn how to respond to life's challenges with a Stoic mindset, stay tuned. We're about to uncover how you can harness the power of Stoicism to lead a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Let's get started. Master the dichotomy of control. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, late for an important meeting. You might feel your frustration building as you watch the clock tick away. In such moments, it's easy to let anger take over, blaming the drivers around you or the traffic itself for your predicament. However, Stoicism teaches us to distinguish between what we can control and what we cannot. In this situation, the traffic jam is outside your control. You can't change the road conditions or other drivers' behaviors. What you can control, however, is how you respond. By focusing on this distinction, you can shift your mindset. Instead of letting anger build, you can choose to accept the situation and use this time to listen to an audiobook or practice mindfulness. Understanding this dichotomy helps us realize that many sources of our anger are external and uncontrollable. When you find yourself getting angry, ask, "Can I actually change this?" If the answer is no, then it's more productive to let go of that anger. This approach doesn't mean you ignore problems or frustrations, but rather that you focus your energy on what you can change, your own response. By mastering this concept, you reduce unnecessary anger and enhance your emotional resilience. Practice premeditation of evils. Think of the last time you went to a big event, like a family gathering or a work presentation. Often we go into these situations with expectations that everything will go perfectly. However, this can set us up for frustration when things don't go as planned. The Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum involves mentally preparing for potential issues before they occur. Before you head to that family gathering, imagine possible scenarios that could go wrong, like a heated argument or an unexpected delay. By anticipating these challenges, you're not only mentally preparing yourself to handle them, but also reducing their potential impact on your emotions. For instance, if you expect that someone might challenge your ideas during a presentation, you can prepare responses and stay calm if it happens. This mental rehearsal helps you stay composed and reduces the likelihood of anger when things don't go smoothly. By preparing for adversity in advance, you become more resilient and less reactive, turning potential frustrations into opportunities to practice Stoic calmness. Reframe your perception. Ever find yourself fuming over a minor inconvenience, like a coworker missing a deadline or a friend canceling plans? Stoicism teaches that it's not the event itself that causes anger, but our perception of it. Imagine you're frustrated because a colleague's mistake has delayed your project. Instead of focusing on your anger, try to reframe the situation. Consider that your colleague might be under pressure or dealing with personal issues. By shifting your perspective to understand their situation, you reduce the intensity of your anger and foster empathy. Reframing involves seeing the situation from a different angle. Instead of viewing it as an intentional slight or a huge setback, see it as an opportunity to practice patience and understanding. This shift in perception helps you approach the situation with a more measured response, allowing you to manage anger effectively and maintain a more balanced outlook. Practice patience and tolerance. Consider how you react when someone cuts in front of you in line. It's easy to let irritation build, especially if you're already feeling stressed or rushed. Stoicism encourages us to practice patience and tolerance, recognizing that human behavior is often flawed and imperfect. When someone acts rudely or makes a mistake, instead of letting anger take over, remind yourself that everyone is dealing with their own challenges. Practicing patience means understanding that people make errors and that it's a natural part of life. For example, if a friend is late to meet you, instead of getting upset, use the time to relax or reflect on your day. By cultivating patience, you reduce the frequency and intensity of your anger. Accepting that imperfections are part of the human experience helps you respond with greater tolerance and less frustration, making interactions smoother and more harmonious. Use rational reflection. Picture a scenario where you're arguing with a partner or friend. Anger often clouds our judgment, leading to heated exchanges that can escalate quickly. Stoicism advises pausing and reflecting before reacting. When you feel anger rising, take a moment to step back and ask yourself why you're angry. Are your feelings proportional to the situation? Often, upon reflection, you'll realize that your anger might be based on misunderstandings or unrealistic expectations. For instance, if you're upset because someone didn't return your call, reflect on whether this is a significant issue or if there could be a reasonable explanation for their delay. Rational reflection allows you to approach the situation more thoughtfully. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can respond with clarity and composure. By taking this pause, you not only manage your anger better, but also improve communication and problem-solving in your relationships. Embrace forgiveness and compassion. Think about a time when someone wronged you, perhaps a friend who let you down or a colleague who criticized your work. Anger can easily arise in these situations, but Stoicism encourages us to practice forgiveness and compassion. When you're upset with someone, try to see the situation from their perspective. Maybe they were having a bad day or were dealing with their own issues. By understanding their circumstances, you can cultivate compassion instead of anger. For example, if a friend cancels plans, consider that they might be facing personal challenges rather than seeing it as a personal slight. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning bad behavior, but recognizing that holding on to anger harms you more than the other person. By letting go of resentment and practicing empathy, you improve your own emotional well-being and maintain healthier relationships. Develop emotional detachment. Picture a situation where a colleague's criticism leaves you feeling angry and upset. Stoicism advocates for emotional detachment, which means maintaining your composure regardless of external events. Instead of letting someone's negative comments affect you deeply, practice detachment by mentally stepping back from the situation. Imagine observing the interaction as an impartial bystander. This perspective helps you respond more calmly and rationally. For instance, if someone criticizes your work, detach from the immediate emotional reaction and evaluate the feedback objectively. Developing emotional detachment helps you stay grounded and reduces the impact of external events on your emotions. By focusing on your response rather than the external provocation, you maintain control over your feelings and navigate challenging situations with greater ease. Engage in daily reflection. Think about how you feel at the end of a challenging day. Stoicism suggests that reflecting on your actions and emotions daily can help manage anger more effectively. Each evening, take a few moments to review your day. Consider how you handled frustrating situations or moments of anger. Ask yourself what triggered these feelings and how you could have responded differently. For example, if you got angry at a co-worker's mistake, reflect on whether there were alternative ways to address the issue calmly. Daily reflection allows you to learn from your experiences and identify patterns in your emotional responses. By regularly assessing your behavior, You can make conscious efforts to improve and handle future challenges with greater composure. Practice self-control and delayed response. Imagine you're in a heated argument and feel your anger bubbling up. Stoicism recommends practicing self-control by delaying your response to avoid reacting impulsively. When you sense anger rising, take a moment to pause before speaking or acting. Count to 10, take a few deep breaths, or step away briefly to cool down. This pause gives you time to regain your composure and respond more thoughtfully. For example, if a colleague criticizes your work, instead of firing back in anger, use the delay to consider their feedback and craft a measured response. Practicing self-control and delaying your reaction helps you manage anger more effectively and respond with greater clarity. By taking this approach, you prevent knee-jerk reactions and improve your interactions, leading to more constructive and less emotionally charged outcomes. Understand the transience of life. Have you ever found yourself enraged over something that, in hindsight, seems insignificant? Maybe it was a heated argument or an inconvenience that threw off your day. Stoicism reminds us that life is fleeting, and many things we get angry about today will have little importance in the grand scheme of things. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the impermanence of life, encouraging us to remember how short our time truly is. Next time you feel anger rising, pause and think about how temporary the moment really is. Imagine fast-forwarding a week, a month, or even a year from now. Will this situation still matter? By grounding yourself in the understanding that life is transient, you can put things in perspective and avoid giving small irritations power over your emotions. This isn't about ignoring your feelings, but recognizing that your time and energy are valuable. Why waste them on fleeting frustrations? Instead, by embracing the fleeting nature of life, you can focus on what truly matters and let go of anger over things that won't affect you in the long run. This mindset shift helps you approach daily annoyances with calm and acceptance, turning potential sources of anger into opportunities to practice peace. Cultivate humility and avoid ego traps. We've all been in situations where our pride was hurt. Maybe someone questioned your abilities or you felt disrespected in a conversation. In these moments, it's easy to let your ego take over, leading to anger and defensiveness. Stoicism teaches that much of our anger is rooted in ego. When we feel personally attacked or embarrassed, our natural response is to react out of pride. Cultivating humility means recognizing that you are not the center of the universe and that others' opinions or actions don't define your worth. For example, if a colleague criticizes your work, instead of reacting defensively, practice humility by considering whether there's truth in their feedback. By separating your ego from the situation, you can respond calmly and avoid unnecessary anger. Humility also involves accepting that we, too, are imperfect. Just as others make mistakes, so do we. By acknowledging this, you become more forgiving and less likely to be angered by the flaws of others. Practicing humility keeps your ego in check, allowing you to respond to challenges with grace rather than anger. This not only improves your relationships, but also helps you maintain inner peace when faced with criticism or perceived slights. See obstacles as opportunities. We've all had days where nothing seems to go right. Projects fall apart, plans get derailed, and the frustration builds until anger takes over. In these moments, it's natural to feel like the universe is against you. However, Stoicism encourages a radical shift in perspective. Instead of seeing obstacles as problems, view them as opportunities for growth. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When things go wrong, ask yourself how this challenge could make you stronger, smarter, or more resilient. For example, if you're faced with a work setback, instead of letting anger consume you, consider what you can learn from the situation. Maybe it's an opportunity to develop better problem-solving skills, improve communication with your team, or cultivate patience. By reframing obstacles as opportunities, you take control of how you respond to adversity. Rather than letting frustration spiral into anger, you channel that energy into personal growth. This mental shift transforms challenges into stepping stones, helping you approach life's difficulties with a calm and open mind. It's not about pretending that setbacks aren't hard. It's about using them to build resilience and emotional strength. Remind yourself of universal human fallibility. Have you ever gotten angry because someone didn't meet your expectations or let you down? Maybe it was a friend who broke a promise or a coworker who didn't pull their weight. It's easy to feel betrayed or frustrated, but Stoicism reminds us that all humans are fallible. We make mistakes, act selfishly, and sometimes fail each other. When someone wrongs you or disappoints you, instead of letting anger take hold, remind yourself that they, like you, are imperfect. Just as you have bad days and make mistakes, so does everyone else. Understanding that human fallibility is universal helps you approach others with more empathy and less judgment. For instance, if a friend forgets to show up for an important event, instead of reacting with anger, try to understand that they might have been overwhelmed or distracted by their own life challenges. This mindset doesn't excuse bad behavior, but it helps you avoid personalizing it. By accepting that everyone, including yourself, is bound to fall short sometimes, you can approach difficult situations with understanding rather than anger. This shift in thinking promotes forgiveness and reduces the emotional toll that others' actions can have on you. Practice empathy by putting yourself in others' shoes. Have you ever found yourself getting angry because someone acted in a way that seemed thoughtless or rude? Maybe it was a coworker who snapped at you or a friend who let you down. In these situations, anger feels justified because you've been wronged, but Stoicism teaches a different approach: empathy. Instead of reacting with anger, try to understand the other person's perspective. Ask yourself, what might they be going through? Could they be dealing with stress, anxiety, or personal struggles? By considering what could be driving their behavior, you shift your focus from judgment to understanding. For instance, if a friend cancels plans last minute, instead of feeling hurt and angry, think about what might have led to that decision. Maybe they're overwhelmed or dealing with something they haven't shared with you. Empathy helps you respond to situations with kindness and patience, rather than letting anger take over. It doesn't mean you tolerate mistreatment, but it allows you to approach conflicts from a place of compassion, which not only diffuses your own anger, but often helps resolve the situation more constructively. When you practice empathy, you create space for understanding and connection, making anger unnecessary. 16. Recognize that anger is a choice. Relatable explanation. We often feel like anger is an automatic reaction to certain situations, like a button being pressed. But Stoicism teaches that anger is a choice, an emotional response we can either indulge or control. While you can't always change the events around you, you can control how you respond to them. Next time you feel anger rising, pause and ask yourself, do I want to be angry? Is this worth my peace of mind? By recognizing that you have the power to choose your emotional response, you can take a step back and decide if anger is truly helpful in that moment. For example, if you're stuck in traffic and feeling frustrated, realize that getting angry won't change the situation. You can either fume and let the anger ruin your day, or you can accept the situation, relax, and use that time for something positive, like listening to music or a podcast. Understanding that anger is a choice empowers you to take control of your emotional state. You can choose calm over chaos, patience over frustration. This shift in perspective not only helps you manage your emotions in the moment, but also leads to long-term emotional resilience, where anger becomes less frequent and less intense in your life. Anger is an emotion we've all faced, but it doesn't have to control us. By applying Stoic philosophy to our daily lives, we can transform how we handle frustrations and conflicts. Throughout this video, we've explored 14 powerful strategies to help you remove anger from your life. From practicing empathy and understanding human fallibility, to recognizing that anger is a choice and reframing obstacles as opportunities, each strategy offers a practical tool to maintain inner peace. The key takeaway is that while anger might seem like an unavoidable reaction, you have the power to control it. By shifting your mindset, embracing patience, and cultivating understanding, you'll find that situations which once triggered anger can now be approached with calm and wisdom. It's not about suppressing emotions, but mastering them in a way that leads to personal growth and emotional freedom. As you start to implement these Stoic practices, you'll notice a significant shift in how you deal with challenges, whether it's a frustrating coworker, a sudden setback, or everyday annoyances. You'll feel more grounded, more centered, and in control of your emotional well-being. So take these strategies with you into your daily life and start experiencing the profound benefits of living with less anger and more peace. Thank you for watching. And remember, your calm is your power.